I'm going to quickly talk about life right now and how I'm finding it as a 19-year-old man. Life at 19, I turned 19 on the 14th of March. I was born in 2006, right? As of this recording, this video probably won't be posted in about another 3 weeks. So it may be late May for you. Late May for you, early June. But as of the recording of this video, it is the 6th of May, 2025. How was life being 19? Well, it's a very interesting age. I've reached the age where we're figuring things out, No one really has the answers together. We're either still figuring the industry we want to be in. We're working ruthlessly towards that, and it's hard to get into the industry we want to be in. So, one side is still figuring it out. The other side knows what they want to do, and they're just not getting the results they want just yet. They're still building their way up. Both are a struggle either way, and I believe age 19 is just an age where you're asking a lot of questions. I'm no longer in high school anymore. I've been exposed to the real world, quite literally. The workplace, and I don't know where you live, but I live in London, England. London, the capital of England. And the age of consent by governmental standards to where you're considered an adult is age 18. Now, I'm also well aware, and many statistics say the brain doesn't fully mature until you hit the age of 25 years old, mentally. So I haven't fully matured yet. I'm still 19. I still have about 6 years to go, And when I say fully matured, I'm not necessarily referring to, oh, you're never going to get smart again, you can never seek knowledge. No. I just mean like the foundational morals are set. Hence why I believe the first 25 years of a man's life is very important. And not to say the past dictates the rest of your life, but it's a great base that will set you for the remaining years of your life, I like to see. I'd say I'm doing pretty good. Coming from someone who, I don't consider myself special in any shape or form. I'm pretty much an underdog for the rest of my life. I just try really hard to improve an area of my life to be a lot better, and speaking happens to be one of them. I believe it or not, I do stutter a lot, and hopefully me speaking to this camera will be able to enable, and has enabled me to some degree, to reduce my stuttering and to become a lot more of a fluid speaker, to touch people and hopefully, God willing, inspire. But me being 19 right now, man, it's a weird age. You're considered an adult, but you don't really have the proper freedom that you'd want. I'm speaking for most 19-year-olds when I say we don't have the money figured out, man. Yeah, sure, you can go outside to far places, but it's like, where's your money? You don't really have that independence. And I'm primarily speaking from a masculine male standpoint. Can't really do much. It sucks. Don't really have the money to do the things you want. Can't date the hottest women. I'm not saying that life's all about that, but women is a major part in a man's life. It's something it's primarily in us to want a woman. But when you're at 19, in most cases, women aren't attracted to young 19-year-old men, and I don't blame them because they haven't gotten everything figured out. But in contrast, for men, we would find a 19-year-old woman attractive because they're in their peak attractiveness. They're in their peak sexual market value. They find you attractive. So naturally, they're going to speak to you, right? But when you're 19, it's like, shit, man. Like, sometimes I walk outside and I ask myself questions like, bro, where is the next penny going to come from? When is this shit going to stop? Am I going to be poor forever? Am I ever going to figure it out? What does it even mean to figure it out? I don't know. But no one does. Even me. Even the adults. The people who have decades on me. Sure, they may have more wisdom because they've lived longer, that naturally it's going to come with it, but no one has all the answers. No one's omniscient. So I don't really think there's an age where you ever figure it out. I think that, that questions should more so be rephrased to, when will I find peace in myself? To say figure it out, it's so vague, Not enough details implied. Not enough detail. So when we say figure out what? Is it career? These are the questions I'm asking myself now. Is it women? Is it relationships? Is it self-love? Is it self-esteem? Is it self-respect? Is it the fear of judgment from people? Because even I don't know the answers. Like, even I'm starting to question myself. Because I always ask myself this question: when will I figure it out? And I can be in many other areas in life. When I was fat 5 years ago, when would I figure it out? When would I get in the best shape of my life? Well, that's now. But then there's always more roots of problems that will come now. Now, the question I'm asking myself is, when's the next penny gonna come? How am I gonna make a living? You know? And then when I tick off that boxes, and I know I'll eventually attract women at some point, I'm not scared about that, but I'm speaking for the majority of 19-year-olds, maybe not even just 19-year-olds, maybe just people of all ages, perhaps. Perhaps the questions I'm asking myself is universal. When for everything? When? How? Why? You know? When is this gonna work? Then when we get what we want, there's gonna be another problem. Can we truly ever be content? And just be to the point where we can genuinely appreciate what we have? I don't know if it's a male curse thing. Just the curse of being a man, having a bunch of testosterone. You're always seeking something. You're always looking for the next thing. And, you know, sometimes more really is less. It means to add limitations to ourselves. And not in a negative way, but to be satisfied. I'm just speaking as a 19-year-old man. And perhaps this is something I kind of envy from women, and just females in general. I feel like with women, they're a lot more relaxed than we are. It may be a lack of testosterone thing, but I don't know whether that's a good or bad thing. Obviously, it's a good thing for them to have less feminine as a byproduct, but, you know, more so, they know when it's time to take a break and stop and rest. You know? But with us men, we're warriors, you know? We've got that warrior spirit, and it's not even me telling you to beat it out yourself. Because sometimes even warriors need rests to recuperate. And a lot of us see it as a drawback. I'm a big believer in things get hard, don't quit. Just take a break. And that break is needed sometimes. Sometimes you need to go on that holiday. You need to just be in isolation and recuperate with your thoughts. Sometimes you just need to spend time with your women. Women are great healers for men, you know. That stuff feminine energy does as numbers. And sometimes I don't think women realize how even the smallest things they say can melt our hearts. It really can. There's the most simple things. Something as simple as, you got this, babe. Or I believe in you. The women may just see it as 3 words. I'm telling you guys, women, my video is primarily based towards men. Let me tell you something about us men and women. You say that to us, it'll melt our heart. It really will. It'll make us work 10 times harder. Do you be surprised how much a simple hug or kiss from you can motivate a man to move forward? You gotta give us king treatment the same way we need to give you queen treatment. But we both need to prove ourselves to each other to show that we're worthy of, you know, attracting a spouse. And I guess in that sense. So perhaps if that answers my question of when is that gonna figure it out? When you're able to do what I just said? I guess I just have to play it out by action now, really. I usually make eye contact a lot in my videos, but when I ask these questions to myself, I just look at the nature and the trees around me. It's beautiful, right? You know, the camera's not doing me much justice, is it? And that's what sucks about recording and making videos and watching on YouTube. Maybe it's subjective to the type of camera I have, but let's just say what I'm seeing with my own lens is better than what the camera is serving to be your lens. Let me just say that. Because this area looks a lot more better in real life, but the camera's not doing it much justice, which is really a shame. Hence why I believe we should all just go out and, you know. Now, I don't overthink, but I do have a lot of questions running through my mind, so a lot of shit going on. Life's gonna go quick. you guys are aware of history, right? The Second World War Veterans Day was yesterday. Well, as of the recording of this video, and it celebrated 80 years of World War II. Celebrated the veterans. 80 years ago, fuck. Speaking of 80 years ago, there was actually an area close to this park towards the end of the park. I'll try to get footage and film it once I'm done. But this specific area that I'm at was actually bombed during the Blitz in World War II. I was 80 years ago. And times changed so much. 80 years ago, I would have been considered an adult. And 80 years ago, it would have been very plausible for me to have a child and get married. And I've, you know, times have changed. I'm 19 now, and, you know, guess it's just evolution, really. Because I don't feel like an adult yet. Am I asking the right questions? Perhaps. Am I on the right path? Perhaps. But we've kind of decreased in terms of responsibility, maturity in a way. Because 80 years ago, I should have been a lot more mature than I don't know. I should be at the point where I'm capable of having a children and raising a child at 19. But I'm not. I'm still a kid. Asking these questions. Nature's too nice. So sorry guys, I'm not looking at you. You know, I usually do look at you in my videos, but what I'm seeing is just so beautiful right now. Nice tweeting. I hope you guys can pick up on the sounds. Good shit, man. No one got this shit figured out, but who does? We're all in this together. Just trying to navigate this hard roadwork of all life. And all our experiences are unique to our own, you know? So there's no path. Like, obviously you do the right thing, but there's no, once you're done with school, there's not really you need to do this. You need to find it yourself, man. So we're figuring things out, trying to put the pieces together. And when I started this video, I thought it was primarily just about money. Now that I ask myself these questions, it's far more than just the money. Wow. And we're 80 years is average age span to live. I believe it may be a bit higher, like in the past. Maybe 100 a bit. Some people reach 100. But even then, a century is not enough to understand how the world works. And we never will, unfortunately. That's why God's so great. He's omniscient and whatnot. Hopefully, the end of the world happens. Maybe we can ask God if we go to heaven. Everything we want to know now. Guess we'll find out.